Okay, we're now recording.
All right, welcome everybody. I'm Jessica Reinhardt, the Mite Commissioner this year. And with me here, we've got Zach. Zach, you want to introduce yourself?
Yep, Zach Zaleski. I will be the Lower Mite Commissioner this year.
And you've got two boys playing, correct?
Yep, yeah, so two sets of twins. I've got twin boys that will be mites this year, and then next year we'll have some rookie mites in the club.
Nice. So you're in the perfect position to jump in at that lower level.
Yeah.
I've got two players. I've got a Pee-wee and a 10U girl. So mine are a little bit older, but I've been around hockey for quite a number of years here now already. So hopefully we can answer any questions you guys have now and throughout the season, and that we can have a great season. So on the slide here, you'll see how to contact both of us, along with the HGC members who work with the lower levels. And this will be up online on the Mite page, and the presentation will be up there too. So tonight we're just gonna run through an overview of the organization, talk about volunteering. We'll give you a rundown of the Mite program, cover the code of conduct and a few updates including COVID. And we'll answer any questions as we go throughout. If you pop them in the chat room, and we can stick around and answer your Q&As at the end as well. Zach's going to give you a quick rundown of how CCHA is organized here.
Yeah, so guys, just a great organization here that is definitely, volunteer based. We couldn't do it without all the parents and folks that volunteer to make all this happen. That starts with the board of directors, trickles down to our HDC, and then just you guys that will help us with volunteering this year, helping run our concession stands, helping with different tournaments, helping with time clocks, different things. It's just a great way to build a good culture in the club. You get to meet people from all around. You get the older kids, younger kids volunteering together. It just kind of makes for a great club. And with that, we've got 700 skaters in the club, 500 families. It's just a great club, continues to grow. We've had a little thing called COVID this year that has stunted a few numbers, but overall we're feeling really good about what we're going to do this year and have a good plan in place. So thanks for being on the call, and thanks for being part of the club.
So in addition to CCHA, we have some other levels, just like other sports. We have our District 6, which includes some of the cities that are surrounding us, including Minnetonka, Lakeville. There's 6 or 7 different organizations. And as you move up through the levels, you'll start playing more and more against those teams. So you'll get to know them as well. It's kind of fun to hop around to the different rinks and meet different families. But we get rules from them. They get rules from Minnesota Hockey, and Minnesota Hockey gets rules from USA Hockey. I think this year in particular, that's coming more into play as COVID has been an issue. So you'll see a number of COVID rules. A lot of the things that we have to implement are coming down from Minnesota Department of Health and from USA Hockey on down. So just be aware of that. And so far, those of you that have been at Mite Camp have been doing a great job of following the rules that we've been stating. So I just want to give you a big thank you for that. We really appreciate it. It's going to allow us to continue hockey throughout the season if we can all keep to that. Any questions about that structure? Looks like we're good to go.
All right, yeah. So the HDC, these are the community members that are involved, and these folks really help us kind of set the stage for how we develop our players. They are the ones that are going to be working on practice plans. What are the guys and girls going to work on, throughout the year to make sure that we continue to just progress at a good level. I know we've got the younger skaters here, so a lot of focus on just skating, entry-level puck handling, but just a great group of folks that can kind of help us gear the right drills and activity towards our players. So they help our coaches kind of set the plan in motion, and then just help them along the way throughout the season and progress our kids.
Volunteers. So Zach touched on this a little bit. We are a volunteer organization, and we're working hard up at this level to get everything organized and coordinated. But it really takes every family's participation throughout the year, both for your own kid on your kid's team and also organization-wide. So Kelly Olson is our volunteer coordinator. She's great at answering any questions you might have, and she works hard to get everything in DIBS on a regular basis. DIBS, for those of you that may not be familiar with that yet, is our sign-up list for volunteer shifts. It's on the website. You can log in, you'll see it on the menu. And it's pretty easy. You log in, you sign in, you pick the dates that you want and the times that you want. And then she's pretty good about getting out instructions too, as well, for what you'll be doing during those shifts. There is the volunteer deposit, which I think a lot of you have already sent in. If you haven't sent it in yet, make sure you get that mailed in or bring it to the evaluations. We're not supposed to let your child on the ice until we have that check in our hand. It's not cashed, and it's returned to you at the end of the season, assuming you get your hours in.
Okay, so I'll say no to this one.
Looks like we're getting
okay,
a little.
Madeline, I'm just asking you. You don't have to get mad at me.
Mute on that. Sorry about that interruption, everybody. So upper level families do have higher hour commitments. If you have an upper level player, you will be required as a family to do 12 hours of volunteering. Lower levels, if that's your highest level player, you have a 6-hour requirement. And in normal seasons, we do require one concession stand shift for lower level families. This year, that's a little bit up in the air. If we don't open concessions, obviously we'll be adjusting that requirement. That went fast. Coaches, for those of you that are interested in coaching, I have been in communication with those that signed up for that, but just head over to the coach pages online, register that you want to be a coach, and follow the requirements there. Team managers, I believe, and Dana can correct me if I'm wrong here, but the Mite levels, I think there are team managers for, but the lower Mites are not. Is that correct?
That's correct. We are actually entertaining for the lower levels of having a team manager like role kind of for everyone, just to do some of the coordination. So that's still being determined.
Okay, thanks for hopping in there. So for those of you with Mite kids, if you're interested in being a team manager, you get your credits for the year for volunteering, and it just really helps the coaches to get the kind of the admin pieces of having a team in place so that they can focus on making sure your kids have the best time they can on the ice. And it really makes a big difference. So if that's something that interests you, you can reach out to us or the volunteer coordinator. She can give you some more information on that as well. There is a sign up for managers as well in the volunteer section of the website. You go in and say that you'd like to be a manager and register there. Aside from that, just being a part of the team, there are requirements and they'll kind of increase as you get to higher levels. But when you get there for Mites and lower Mites, just helping with the boards coming on and off the ice is great. That just gives our kids the most ice time that we can get instead of having the coaches, have to eat into their practice time to get all those out there. Nets, barriers, cones, coaches will direct what they want out there. So if you're there at the rink and can be helpful, that'd be great. When we have games, there will be clock, score sheet, for our Mites, probably just clock. And as you get to the upper levels, then we add in scorekeeping and penalty box and all that. Any questions on that? All right, and as we get to the end of the year, for those of you with Mites moving up to squirts, I'd be happy to go over running the clock and stuff and get you ready for next year. We have a question here, might want to note, helmets are required. Oh yes, thanks Nash. So the one caveat with helping with the boards and everything is that just sliding them out over to the ice for the the coaches to probably put in place. We have non-confirmed parents on the ice, and helmets are required, and there's waivers and such. So just take coach direction, and it'll become clear, you know, after the first couple weeks how that process works. Thanks, Nash. So in addition to managing, there's concessions. A big one that we're always short on volunteers for is the Brick City tournament, and which is Thanksgiving weekend, and Hockey Hoopla, which happens in March. So, you know, feel free to get your hours in early. We always encourage that. Brick City is perfect to do that at. Watch the DIBS section of the website for extra opportunities to come in. And like I said, you can always reach out if you have any questions about any of those opportunities. Back to you, Zach.
Yeah, so, you know, our philosophy with the association here is all about fun. We want to have fun practices, fun drills. We want to have the kids playing games. We want to make the games fun. We want to get everybody involved because we're all at this level, you know, we're developing fundamentals. There are definitely some kids that are advanced, and we want to continue to increase, you know, their skill set as well. So the coaches do a great job of splitting the kids up into different levels and keeping it fun for all of them. Even if you've got your beginning skater to your advanced skater, I feel like they do a great job of keeping the kids engaged and keeping them growing at the level that they are at. You know, our biggest goal each season is to have kids come back. We want them to have a fun experience and enjoy it. And speaking personally, as my kids' you know, first year last year, and you know, they were bummed when the season ended and couldn't wait to start playing again, you know, this year. And, you know, they even wrangled me into being a commissioner this year. So just a lot of fun, you know, for the kids out there. And that is our goal, is to get them back next year and keep them having fun with soccer. So, so for this year, registrations fees, they stayed flat. You know, our ice continues to rise, but we really want to make sure that we keep this at a nice, affordable level for all families to be involved. Go to the next slide. All right, so we've got the evaluations coming up. Again, this is something where we're really just looking to see, you know, where are the kids at? Do we have our advanced skaters? Do we have our beginners? And how do we kind of, you know, put them into the right groups where they're going to get the most out of their hockey development? So when you do come to this, maybe it can be intimidating for the kids, maybe even more intimidating for the parents on what's going on out there. But it's just an opportunity for us to see where is everybody at. So you can kind of run through the list here. We want to keep the kids in the CCHA, you know, colors. Trying not to have jerseys with names on them. Just allows us to use kind of a number system and evaluate based on the numbers versus a family name or a name that we recognize. This year with COVID and everything, we do need to have the kids come as mostly dressed as they can. We can't have the bags hang out in the locker room. That can, you know, stay with the parents. You know, I know there's a lot of hockey equipment, so if you need to use that bag to put the extra things in, the shoes or the jacket, whatever it is, you can certainly do that. We're just keeping those things out of the locker room so we can avoid the clustering, because they don't have the most space that we'd want. When you do come to that evaluation, that check, we do need that just so that we can kind of keep that and make sure that we do get those volunteer hours in there. And then let's see here. Again, the more that you can have your kid ready and prepared, just kind of avoids any last minute, you know, clustering. It allows us to space the players out, get them over to the bench area, and then get them on the ice as soon as possible. So at the Mite level, we've got the third-party evaluators that are doing this. Again, it's all just different skill drills to really see, again, where are the kids at, what is their level, so that we can kind of design teams based on that. Next slide, please.
Sorry about that. There we go.
Oh, that's right. All right. Okay, there. So again, same things for the Mite evaluations. Again, we need all the equipment on, the neck guards, mouth guards. The evaluations, are open, to the parents. You can, sit behind the glass. And again, following the COVID rules out there, it is one parent per child at the rinks. That is a rink decision that we do agree with, but one that they are going to help us enforce. Let's not interact with our kids out there on the ice. No shouting or telling them to do something different, or we just need them to focus on doing the drills that the coaches have out there in front of them. They're already probably nervous enough, so it allows them to just stay engaged in what they're going on there. We will put the teams posted about 2 to 3 days after the tryouts, and then those decisions are final. So we have to do it that way. We've got, I think, really good evaluators that put kids in the right spots, and we move on from there. If there's a reason where you want to opt out of the tryouts, that child will be placed on the East Division team for the Mites. All right, and here are the different divisions. So for the Mites, we've got the South Division, which is our more advanced skaters. The West Division is intermediate, and then the East is more of our beginner level. So you can see there 122 registered right now. That does not mean we will have 40 kids on each team. That is just, there will be multiple teams within that division, separating out the kids, anywhere from 10 to 12 skaters per team. And then for the lower Mites, again, you can kind of see the numbers where we have registered right now. So we'll work out the numbers as soon as we kind of have final numbers to how many teams we will have. And this model is based more on, getting everybody involved at the different levels. So you are going to have all those different levels all on one team. So you will have your advanced skaters on the same team with your intermediate players and your beginning players. It just allows us to continue to play kind of a round robin schedule within the association. It's honestly a great way to kind of, the beginner kids can see what the advanced kids are doing on their team and kind of try the different things that they're doing. And then, we still keep the practices focused each week on the Saturdays and Thursdays where, we do separate them by level to make sure that maybe the advanced kids, are again progressing what they already have, and then our beginners that they can feel a little more comfortable skating with kids their level and develop that skill that they're trying to do. All right. So again, at the mini Mite level, Mites, they're definitely a lot more used to the skating, but our goal is to follow the ADM, so the American Development Model. Again, this is all about having our kids learn at their pace and their level. So the coaches do a nice job of treating all the kids the same way on the ice, from the beginners to the advanced. And it's just I think a great, comfortable way for the kids to, again, have fun, be safe, and work at the level that they're at currently. Hockey's a difficult sport. I mean, I know probably many of you on this call, you're a former player or whatever, and it's different than soccer, football, basketball. You're used to running and using your feet. You start throwing skates on in a fast surface, it's difficult. So it's just it's a way for us to again continue to keep the kids engaged in the sport and have them fun and safe.
All right, so our regular schedule, we've kind of touched on it, but the Mites will have on average 3 ice touches per week, 1 weeknight practice, 1 weekend practice, which is typically on Saturday, and then games on Sunday. For the first half of the season, the Mites do half ice. Starting in January, the top level teams will go to full ice, and I believe the other ones will remain at half ice, just to make sure that they have more time touching the puck and less time chasing it all the way down the ice. It just gives them a little bit more practice with those hockey skills as they develop their skating. Lower Mites is a very similar schedule. Weeknight practices are added to outdoor ice when weather permits, Saturday practice and Sunday half games. Again, help with those divider boards, just getting them off the rack into the door of the rink really makes a big difference for our coaches to be able to get them up fast. Key events, picture day typically ends up in early December, so watch for that to show up on your calendar. Pond hockey tournaments last weekend in December, hockey hoopla in mid-March, and skate with the Storm Hawks. So our high school teams often will reach out to our lower level teams and ask the kids to come at the beginning of the game and carry the flags out and stand with some of the players as they are introduced at the beginning of the game. I know my daughter has done it a couple of times, so just thinks it's a fantastic thing to do. It's real fun and energizing to see those bigger players and they can kind of look up to them. It's a great opportunity. So when you see that come out, I encourage you, if you can, to take advantage of those. And we'll communicate out these dates when we have more specific dates for you. So watch either through your team manager or the Mite page and the calendar online. Communication. So what we try to do on a general basis is that as commissioners, we'll communicate down to your lead coaches and your team coaches, when needed, your team managers. Your team coach and your team manager should be your first point of contact for any questions about the season. And, you know, if they have something that they need our input on, they'll reach back up to us. If you do have a problem with your coach or team manager for some reason and feel like you need to reach up higher, you certainly can do that. You know how to find us. Our contact information is on the Mite page online. And over to you, Zach.
Yeah. So code of conduct. You know, really, this is about just, you know, being a great sport. We want to make sure that, again, talked about it, fun. We want the kids to have fun. We want them to hear encouraging messages, you know, from parents. We want to, you know, treat coaches, the other team with respect, you know, the officials as well. So again, you know, we'd like to say that this is, you know, a pretty easy one to follow. Unfortunately, sometimes that doesn't always go that way, but, you know, again, just do your part to be an encouraging, you know, parent out there, and show respect for everybody that's out there. We're going to have, again, at this level, you've got a lot of beginners, and then you've also got, you know, some kids where you think probably the next Sidney Crosby. So, you know, respect both levels, and understand that everybody's kind of got to start somewhere. And it's, you know, this is just a great playing environment for them to do that. And, you know, they can use encouragement from, you know, people that aren't their parents. So if you've got that great skater, make sure we're encouraging the beginners as well. And, you know, and likewise, if you've got a beginner, it's really, you know, cool to recognize all levels within this club. So yeah, let's just have fun with it and make sure that the kids enjoy our encouragement and energy.
Here's the fun stuff, the COVID. So when to stay home, you know, it's the same rules that your schools are asking you. If you have a fever, difficulty breathing, loss of taste or smell, muscle pains, chills, nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, coughing, runny nose, sore throat, headache, fatigue, we ask that you stay home. Of course, if you are testing or someone else in the household is having these symptoms or is testing or of course has a positive test result, we really need you to stay home. I know it's not fun to miss out on the events, but it's important so that we don't spread it through the community and end up having to shut down hockey or have the whole team quarantined. So masks, when you enter the building, you need to have a mask on. Your child needs to have a mask on. Your child can take the mask off once they're putting their helmet on and ready to step on the ice. When they come off the ice, that mask needs to go back on as they take their skates off and then exit the rink. 15 minutes before your ice time is when you're allowed to enter the rink. So again, just like we're doing for camp, if you can have your player dress at home, show up at the rink to put skates on. If you have skate guards, they can walk in. I'd even say put their skates on at home. I'm even having my older players do that, and it's working out pretty well for them. I think that the skate guards are like $8 at the skate shops, so they're not too expensive. Pick up and drop off our older players that are older than 10. We have to just drop them off. Being that we're working with younger kids who often need a lot of help, one parent can enter the rink with the player. You can stay with them if you choose, or you can leave and come back. What we can't have is extra people and siblings showing up, because it just creates that space issue with the spacing out for COVID. Dressing for games, basically the same thing as practices. You are allowed to bring your bags to the rink if you need to, but we encourage you to dress at home as much as possible. The locker rooms are available, but they are spaced out and they're marked. For those of you that have been at camp, you see the yellow X taped out marking how many people could be in the locker room. So be aware that, you know, if the locker rooms are full, you might have to use a chair outside. Spectators, one person for our lower levels here, one person can be at practice, one person at games. We're hoping we can change that as the season moves on, but for now, that's the rule. So definitely check back. If you look at cchockey.org or right on our homepage, there's a big button for COVID and the rules are posted there. And we'll be highlighting the changes for that as changes happen in a red or other colored font text, so you can see what's new in that. And we can answer questions, of course. You know, if you have questions as you go through the season, ask your coach, or reach out and ask us. We're happy to answer those for you. CCHA branding, we have these fantastic logos that are so fun to have. They are trademarked, and so we do ask that nobody put them on any product or ask a company to put them on any product without permission. We do have an apparel store where you can find merchandise that have the logos on. I know that my kids really love living in their CCHA apparel. I can't hardly get them to take it off to get it washed. So I know it's fun for them to have those. Just real quick about uniforms.
Yeah, and Jess, I wanted to jump in on the COVID. Did we want to go over kind of the flow of Arena 2, since a lot of these parents are probably going to use that?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Okay.
So at CCC, you'll enter through the main rink doors and flow to your rink, either 1 or 2. When you're exiting, you can either now exit back through the arena door, Arena 1, or at the far end of rink 1, there's a second set of doors that you can choose to exit out of as well. So at the other end of the locker rooms. At Victoria, the request is that we come in the front main door by kind of the reception and through the lobby and go to your rinks. And then there are actually doors on the far end of the rinks that exit to the back side of the building. And they're asking us to exit over there. So I know with the one parent rule, if you're staying and you park out front to let your kid in the building, that might cause a little bit more of an issue if your car is parked out front. So maybe we can have a conversation if that becomes a problem, but certainly for now, that's the plan and that's what they're asking. As that changes, I'm sure your coaches and team managers will be able to communicate out, and we'll put updates online as well.
Yeah, when the kids come off the ice, kind of in that northwest, corner, it can create a cluster if everybody stops right there to greet, their child as they come off the ice. So again, we can use that whole front section of the bleachers to do equipment. We're just asking not to use those locker rooms, so the next wave of kids can come in and get prepared for the ice, and then we can also go out the door and find some space as well. So. Again, it can create a cluster right there, but if we kind of just keep moving and space out appropriately, it definitely does have a nice flow to kind of go out that north entrance of the community center. All right, so uniform colors. I don't think we have to worry about that too much at this level. This is just more geared towards kind of as we're progressing and we want to keep the kids in black, but if right now you do have a white helmet or some different colored gloves, you're good at this Mite level, correct?
Absolutely, it's fine for this
Okay.
level. For those of you that are in your, last year of mites and looking to move up to squirts, if you're buying something mid-season or even at the beginning of the season, you expect it to fit to the next year. Just be aware that black is the color that we're looking for as you move up, and so that you don't purchase something that's a wrong color and then have to replace it as you move up.
Yeah, and definitely I know for all of you, it is, a little bit of a, sticker shock as you're buying some of this equipment, but, there's some great social media sites, Facebook Marketplace, different, classifieds, out there. So definitely check those. I know that's, a lot of the CCHA members are on that, passing down their old stuff too. So you can get great deals on really anything hockey wise. So don't feel like you have to go out to Pure Hockey and buy everything new. There's a lot of great gently used stuff around the community. And then for goalie stuff, we do provide that as an association. So the kids will each kind of go through and get their chance to play goalie. And then, we help the kids with that. And they basically trade off on each game, and we keep the equipment at the arena.
So CCHA raffle, for those families that have been around, this is part of your registration fees. You will get 10 tickets that's included in your registration fee. You can choose to sell those for $10 per ticket to recoup that money for your family, or you can choose to keep the tickets and write your name in and hope you win the big prize. That's always been our mode of operation in the past. This graphic is from last year's raffle, so things might be slightly different this year, but that is just to give you an idea of what they did last year. The drawing typically happens at the Hockey Hoopla in March, and there will be a drop box, as I'm assuming we'll do it as we've done it in the past. There will be a drop box for those ticket stubs in the concession area at the Victoria Rec Center. And your team manager will notify you about that as we get closer to that date. Your team managers will be given the tickets and they will distribute them to you. That's how you get them.
Right, and again, we talked about it before, but player safety, definitely an important one for us, especially with hockey and the speed at which some of the kids go. So, I would tell you at this age group, the mites they're definitely playing a little faster with the lower mites. It's going to be, random collisions of the kids. You've got some skaters that aren't quite there skating, yet, and we're just a little off balance. So I think the coaches do a great job of making sure that the kids are, playing safe with each other and keeping, any kind of bumps and checking to definitely a minimum. They're all just trying not to work hard and practice their new skills. So, but we do definitely keep an eye on it and make sure that the coaches, they are all trained via a service called Safe Sport. And that helps them kind of identify concussions and the different symptoms that go along with it, because again, we want to keep the kids safe out there and not return them to play if they've had any issues.
And in fact, that's just to chime in there, that's a requirement. Our coaches are required to not let them play. So if there's been an issue and there's a concern that there is a concussion, before any return to play, you have to have a return to play form from a professional saying that they're okay. I think, like Zach said, it doesn't happen a ton at this level, but just to be aware of that. And here's that apparel I was mentioning earlier. So there is an order session open right now. And this slide, if you go online, this slide links to it, and you should have received an email as well from the association with a link directly to the store. So we're back with Letterman Sports, who we've used in the past. They've always been a really great, they follow through, and our orders come through on time and as ordered. So we're happy to be back with them this year. This year, your player is going to receive a hooded sweatshirt that will match. All the upper levels and lower level players get the same sweatshirt. So that's kind of fun to have, you know, that matching brand, and the little kids tend to look up to the big kids. So to look the same as we're hoping that that's something fun that they enjoy this year. Upper teams often select matching team apparel. That is an option. You are welcome to do that as a lower level player if you want. If you just see something you want to order, you can order that. I don't think the lower level teams do as much of that organized ordering, but you might want to wait until you have a team to find out if you're interested in ordering. I do have the order on the next page here. So currently through tomorrow, so if you want to order something and have it by November 9th, you'd have to hurry up and do it by tomorrow. There will be a third ordering window from November 6th through the 15th, and that would arrive in time for Christmas if you're looking to do something as a Christmas present. We are not having try-on events this year, just with COVID. It's too much to have kids putting things on and off, and there's that risk of exposure. But if you really want to try something on for sizing, you can visit the Plymouth store, Letterman Sports store, to see the different options. And that is our presentation. Does anyone have any questions?
I don't have any more in the chat, Jess, so.
All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for taking time out of your Saturday evening to hop on. And we look forward to a great season.
Great. Thanks, everyone.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Bye.